722 leading.
Well, it's 18 million gallons.
18 million gallons. 18 million gallons a month.
It's one of the largest users of diesel fuel.
18 million gallons a month. That is 600,000 gallons a day.
You guys saw it.
Think about that. 600,000 gallons of diesel fuel.
We're in the mainlines into moose coal, mostly some oil, low grade, mostly coal, for instance. Well, we take
This bourbon. 600,000 gallons of diesel a day. Divided by 24 hours. 6,000 gallons of fuel an hour.
60 trip.
See a crazy number? This is how much diesel fuel we use.
Detroit, 3 days each.
Yikes. Divide that by 60. It's 416 gallons of fuel.
A lot of stuff to see.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you do the hard work.
A lot of fuel. That's about 7 gallons a second.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I can't even imagine.
I can't quantify that. 7 gallons a second. That's nuts. Getting that tank train.
Well, when you get there, you go across that area. It's kind of a fairly low. No, it's still. You go over that big, huge bridge, that here, it's over here.
A bunch of people from down by the DLs.
Yeah, I'll grab my binoculars to see if I can find the end of that massive tank train. Yeah.
Don't see it, yeah.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah. It's got a buffer car at the end.
Grain, dry goods buffer car at the back.
What do you suppose they're carrying?
I don't know.
Ethanol?
Maple syrup.
Oh, that'd be a lot of maple syrup.
Alas.
Need a lot of waffles.
Yeah, could be ethanol, could be
Try
sugar,
some.
could be
I'm gonna try some.
soybean oil now. We got 2 new, soybean, crushing plants.
Try something.
One just west of Fargo, one just east of Jamestown. Soybean oil, hoping it's gonna catch on for the
Wonder.
plains jet fuel.
They're talking about some kind of soybean thing.
I'll see if I can, once that train passes and I get I'm able to pause the footage.
Yeah.
I'm done with the footage showing, I'll see if I can zoom in on the number.
Dependent on
the
China
code number.
buying soybeans.
And see if it kills me, because I can't see it from here. The number's too small. Excuse me.
A lot of ethanol production up there. There's 4 or 5 year plants in the area.
I'm down here, south, about 118 miles away. And another one down south.
There's a lot being pushed over east.
Yeah, I'm sure you got one over east. Well, like, some irrigated cropland around here.
It's just better than I thought it was going to be.
Right out here, this guy out here.
If you have any questions, I can try and answer them for you.
Thank you.
Potatoes.
Is you guys' first time visiting here?
It is.
Well, you are currently looking at the largest classification rail yard anywhere in the world.
Generally.
That's what I heard.
There's no other facility like this anywhere. And this is all owned by Union Pacific.
The whole thing.
The whole yard. This yard is 15 miles from one end to the other. It's about 2 miles wide at its widest location, and about 12,000 individual train cars get sorted through here in a 24-hour period.
Wow.
And this yard is running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
We took a
It
train,
never
2-day
stops.
train ride over
They say if this yard had to stop, like totally, and wouldn't get going for an extended period, the U.S. economy would feel it in 3 days. There is such a massive amount of commodity moving through here.
What moves through, I mean, maybe that sounds silly, but is it literally everything?
Literally everything. Like you can see this big train of all these black tank cars, that's oil. Behind it is an intermodal train that's probably carrying mail and packages. You've got grain cars carrying all manner of dry goods from plastic pellets to grain for bread. You've got box cars carrying everything from automotive parts to toys to clothing. You've got flat cars that carry just about any commodity you can think of that's in like a large piece of equipment to a truck. You've got auto racks carrying cars. You've got the box cars that carry just about everything. Just about any product you can imagine that you use in your daily life can be moved by rail.
Happy anniversary. So then when it gets down to North Platte, like in the downtown area, those are granaries?
So that's a grain silo that can take cars down there, and then the locomotives will bring them back here to be sorted into a train.
Okay.
With a train ride, and all of a sudden I look at my phone and I go,
Looks like it's coming to a stop. This building right here is that's the command center of this whole yard. And you can see.
What are the other buildings for?
So this building right in front of us used to be a workers' canteen. That's no longer used for that purpose. The building just beyond it with that big seal on the side, that is the train tower where they command the trains.
Okay.
For these sets of locomotives here, which work this trim section. And then you've got like this giant building over there. That's your diesel shop where the engines get serviced. Off in the distance, there's a little 5-story tower with those blue structures next to it.
Yeah.
That is the giant stationary air compressor for the east hump. That giant mound just to the left of the blue and white tanks, that is the east hump. And then the blue and white tanks are your diesel fuel. Just to the right of those, the yellow-looking towers, those big lattice-looking towers, that is your run-through facilities for the unit trains that don't have to stop. And then you've got all sorts of other ancillary buildings, like this big structure next to the diesel shop is where the engines that have brought a train in, after the engines have been unhooked, they will go in there for service, oil, fuel, sand, grease, empty the onboard toilet, all the stuff that's needed for the engines. Once the train has been taken off, once the engines are taken off their train, then a remote set comes in, which are, like if you see these diesels right down in front of us,
Yep.
you'll notice some of them have a flashing light.
Yes.
So what that indicates is it's a radio-controlled locomotive. If you've ever heard of like the Lionel toy trains, it's a glorified version of that.
Okay.
So here, let me just let this finish and then I'll show you. I'm currently filming this tank train going through.
Yeah.
But yeah, once it's done, I'll show you. I think it's almost done. Yeah, it's almost there. Yep, that grain car, that gray one, that's a buffer car. They put those on the tank trains because they're carrying a liquid of some sort, and they don't. If the locomotive catches on fire or
Yeah.
something happens, they don't want it getting to the cargo. Okay, I'm almost done. Until he clears. That is a long train.
64 tracks on here on this pole,
Oh, there's the end of
50
it.
on the west.
And this one, that's like, this train is
Yeah, it's on this is on a unit train, they don't separate. The others that are going up over the hump, when you disassemble, they need to go different directions, so they break it up and send it down these tracks and then switch it in, pouring out, and tracking out, and then they'll do that 3 or 4 times on different tracks and build a train. So he's doing when it's all complete, you pull it down on the main line, or the locomotive service track, or the diesel shop.
That grain train is a long one.
Shop to go with outbound departures, kind of like right by the wow. And they call it hoses, power it up, make sure the output is correct on voltage, everything.
There's the end of it.
And then you take it down to the east end, back over to the train, put through on it, and it's ready to go. Every train goes.
See where those tanks are going. I can see, holy moly, that's a long one.
Pushed up over the hump, disassembling that train, every car has an ID tag on it, and then who owns the car, what's in it. where it's going.
Love that.
I met a man a couple summers ago, the other train park that we have where I'm working, and he's probably in his eighties, and he said he was behind the system for the billing, computer system for the billing of the road. And I think that how intricate all of that would be, who owns the car, where it's going, who's with the product.
It's the grain chores. I wanna go see, check one thing. I wanna go see one
Home
thing.
is or whatever it needs to be rebuilt and all of that.
Yeah.
And you know, you think of how many big buildings used to be
Get it
full of people that would.
Well, nothing's
Right.
done. I was gonna go take a look at one thing. I always see it on these screens. They talk about the thing called safety stairs. I'm trying to think there must be on each one of the floors on the stairwell. They must have a different thing for each safety. I might go take the stairs down.
Cars, when they separate the trains
Cross
out
over and
now.
back on the other side just to see.
Sounds good.
I haven't done that
Speed
before,
is
so I may
go
go
for the
take a
weight
few
of the
minutes to go
car.
down the stairwell.
Cause there are
Sounds
retarders,
good.
did you guys go down the low on 74?
I've never done that.
Yeah, for a minute, late a day.
You hear all the sounds, the screeching sound,
Yeah.
that's the retarders that are going against the wheels slowing it down. So that it doesn't hit the, car down here in the bowl too hard. Sometimes they do, sometimes they're really hit hard, but, for the most part, they know just how much they need to slow them down, how far it needs to go on that track before it connects to the next car.
Yeah, that's not applying the brakes on the car, it's, was it putting pressure against the flanges and all? or-
Yeah, just like, the picture of it over here, are the retarders on this picture. How they go against the wheels.
Oh,
Yeah, some of the other pictures are on the side, I think, show them too.
See it?
sure is.
It's like that hill and then there's like slow.
Either one is happy right now.
And the west one is just on the other, just like in the same spot.
The west one is straight across from us. Just like, you see, it looks like a bridge over there.